Hey, I'm going through and ranking all of my 12 Peter Parker Spider-Mans. This isn't counting the non-Peter Parker Spider-Man characters or any from the minifigure series because it'd be a clean sweep. Those figures are gorgeous. But first up, we have the 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming. Pretty solid figure. I really dig the arm printing. I like the dual molded legs and the printing on the legs. Um, Overall, it's pretty detailed. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of, I really don't like the very small eyes. They look like he's squinting a lot. I like the fact that you can see the lenses are like this silver color. They're not just straight, black like the webbing on it. But overall pretty okay. Really, I don't feel like it's an accurate Lego representation of that suit. I really like the suit in the movies. It's also very navy. The figure's very navy. It kind of looks more like it appears in Civil War than actually in Spider-Man Homecoming, but anyway. Next we have the more like comic book version Spider-Man. It's not from a movie or anything specific. I like the symbol on the front and on the back. I like the arm printing. That's pretty cool. The only two things I don't really like about it are, again, the eyes. They just don't look very... They just look kind of odd. They're somehow squinty. It's like they're not small enough and big enough at the same time. Maybe I'm being a little inconsistent, but I don't really like how they look. I think there's like at least 5 other better representations of the Spidey eyes in Lego sets. This one guy comes in a lot, and for the most part, he never really comes with dual molded legs. I don't think it would really kill Lego to add dual molded legs. I think when you add those dual molded legs, the figure does look a lot cooler. It's a much higher display value. But overall, it's okay. I really like the light blue. It's not navy. But the eyes and the consistent lack of dual molded legs is just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Next, I have the newer version of the Homecoming suit. Again, the navy's a little too dark, I think, for an accurate representation of this suit. We have dual molded legs now without any printing, which, I don't love. All in all, it's a little bit less detail. The lines are a little bit darker on the webbing. One thing I really do like, as opposed to the other ones, is the eyes are bigger. I'm a big eye guy for Spidey. I like how on the lenses there's shadows close to the periphery, but near the center of each eye, it's kind of a silver. I think that adds a lot of depth. I think it's really cool. I think even though this doesn't have leg printing, it does have the dual molded legs, and overall I think this is a much sharper representation of the Homecoming suit, even though I think adding a lighter blue would really, hit home for me. Next we have the Iron Spider suits from, I guess it originally appeared in Homecoming, mainly from Infinity War and Endgame, and Far From Home as well. This one it's okay. It's kind of a mixed bag for me personally. I don't really like the spider arms that they put on them. I wish they would kind of stay consistent with them. It was interesting. This one came in that Iron Spider bust set. It cost like 50 or 60 bucks. This was the only figure that came with it. But you could spend like $100 on Endgame set with like the portals, but that figure came with the same chest and headpiece, but they didn't have arm printing. So I was like, why? Well, I feel like you have to kind of, buy both to have a really solid figure. I like the blue on the eyes. Again, I like the lenses. I feel like it's a pretty good representation of the suits. I think the back looks very, very cool. Honestly, it doesn't rank that high for me. One, because I'm just not a big fan of the Iron Spider suit in the MCU. it's not super comic accurate. I don't have a huge problem with them kind of veering away from comic accuracy, but when it's not comic accurate and it also sucks, it's kind of like, dude, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, anyway, I think, again, you know, the dual molded legs are nice. I would rather have them be, you know, printed, you know, some type of marks on them or something. But all in all, it's an okay figure. It's a pretty okay representation of that suit, but all in all, I just think the suit itself is kind of mid, to be honest. Next we have the, I'm just going to call it the Far From Home suit. I think in like the Spider-Man PS5 game, it's the Parker suit. I don't really know exactly what they call it. I call it just the red and black suit. I really, really like this one. I don't mind the white spider symbol on the back. I like the dual molded legs with the printing on it. I like the lenses again. I like this, the printing on the face here. It's probably my favorite Spidey head. I you know, it doesn't have arm printing. And honestly, I don't understand why they didn't just give it, red hands instead of black hands for this, but honestly, I really do like the suit in live action. I think this is a very, very nice representation. All right, and next we have the more of a comic book style Iron Spider suit. This came in the Spider Layer set. It's definitely more comic accurate, just red and gold. I like the printing on the front. I think it adds a lot of detail. I even like the printing on the back of the head too. It looks very much more kind of like a helmet than like a typical, you know, fabric mask. But I don't know, I think it's a great figure. I do actually like the arms for this figure. And I like that they made a comic accurate Iron Spider suit. I was pretty pumped to get this one. All right, next there's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit. This isn't the OG, you know, Tobey suit that came out around the time Spider-Man 1 and 2 came out. I don't think they made any ones for Spider-Man 3, but I know now we're getting them next year, which I'm personally pumped for. I think Spider-Man 3 gets a lot of hate. I think it's pretty good, but I'm probably biased. I really like this suit. The only thing that really takes it away is there's no arm printing, there's no leg printing. There are dual molded legs. I think it's a pretty good representation. I like the detail on the spider symbol in the back. I like how you can clearly see the raised webbing on Tobey's suit is silver and not black. I think they paid a lot of attention to detail here on this figure, and you know, it's pretty good. I think it's a great representation, but it's not anything crazy. Next we have the No Way Home suit. This, honestly, I love the printing on the face. Best Spider-Man printing, in my opinion. The amount of detail on here is great. No arm printing, you know, it's the only thing. Honestly, I remember when this movie was coming out and seeing this suit in the promotional material and being like, what are they doing? Like, I just feel like the gold and the black and the red, just, it doesn't really go together. I think it's cool when you watch the movie and you see, I guess, spoiler alert, but you see Doc Ock give Peter back the nanotech. So that was cool. And I mean, it is the suit where he meets, you know, the other Spider-Man. So it's like that part is cool. But honestly, I think it's a very good representation of a suit that I'm just not super crazy about. I will say Tom Holland is my favorite Spidey. I know that might, you know, catch some heat, but I really do like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think all the figures of him are pretty good, but most of the suits I don't particularly love the character. I think he does a great job. But all the suits really are kind of a mixed bag, except for the, you know, the red and black suit. I really liked that one quite a bit. And I liked the suit that he wore in at the end of No Way Home when he made his own suit. That was my favorite part of that entire movie. I mean, it ranked over seeing Toby and Andrew again. It just felt like he really came into his own, and the suit looked gorgeous. And I'm so happy they're using it in the new one too. It's like it's a little different. The blues aren't quite as like uh, shiny, you know, but it's that suit is it's a great suit. I'm excited. I'm just rambling. Next we have the, it's kind of like a homemade suit. It came also in the Spider Lair set, again, not based off of a movie. It's just the Spider-Man, you know, Lego brand here. I really like the mask on there. I think is really cool. No dual molded legs. You know, no printing on the legs. Not a huge fan of that. But overall, I think this is a really, really cool figure. You can see the little spider symbol on the belt as well. You can see the spider symbol on the back that's partially covered up by a hood. I think it's really cool. But really the thing that makes it for me is having that little hat, you know, of his, you know, mask. Kind of looks like he pulled it just halfway up, and you could have him like eating something. There's a lot of display value to that, and I really, really like that. Next is the battle damaged Toby suit. This came pretty recently in that train set with Doc Ock. I really like this one. I think the detail around the tears in his suit is really cool, and we haven't really gotten any like battle damaged Lego Spidey suits. So I was pretty pumped, you know, when I saw this one. I think it's really cool. I think the display value is crazy because you can add it to other sets that he's in as well, and have him like fighting people and, you know, taking some damage. So I really liked that. I think the detail on this is cool, and it really is, you know, it's the same figure as was in the big No Way Home set, the Statue of Liberty, but just that little extra detail, you know, of the tears in the suit. I really liked that. And next we have the Amazing Spider-Man suit that Andrew Garfield wore in Amazing Spider-Man 2 and in Spider-Man No Way Home. This is probably one of the best live-action Spider-Man suits ever. I think it looks great. No unprinting, dual molded legs, but no printing on the legs. I really like the eyes on this suit as well. I think they look incredibly accurate. I love how, you know, wide they are. I think this figure looks great. The detail on the back as well. I think they did a great job. I know it doesn't hold a candle, you know, to the Comic-Con figure they came out with. You know, that detail on that one's crazy. But I think this is a really good figure. It's a really good representation of a really cool suit, and yeah, I really, really like that one. And lastly, in first place, there's the stealth suit, I think you would call it. Some people call it the big time Spidey suit. In the actual Spider Lair set, I think it just calls it the ultimate Spider-Man suit, which is, you know, it's not that. But I really like the detail on the green. I like that there's two different colors of green on the periphery of the symbol. I like the little details of the blue going there, where you can see kind of like the muscle definition. I like that there's printing on the legs. No arm printing. I don't really feels like it needed it. I think it would definitely look better if it had it, but all in all, I think this is a great suit. I love how the eyes look. I love how there's, you know, that little bit darker shade of green going on the eyes, but I really like this figure. I think this is definitely my favorite. I love the back as well. I think this is a phenomenal figure, and it's definitely my favorite in my collection.